What's up? Ghost Fictions is here, and we're back again. This is the second part of a story where Izuku became the shadow hero. But before we start, please consider subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Don't forget to check the description for more information. Now, let's get into part 2. It was a week later Izuku got the official letter of UA. Only he, Inasa, Momoyae Rozu and Setsuna Tokage got through recommendations. Sadly, Inasa was in Class B with Setsuna and he was in Class A with Momo. He also got a message from Rumi telling him that Endeavor was on a rant for a lot of the time as his son didn't get recommended, although both his twins got in with a normal exam, with only the girl twin got into 1A. It was another week when he was allowed to come into UA dorms to live. So here he is, everything is packed into his inventory, walking towards his 1A dorms. He hears some shouting and goes to check it out. What he saw was Endeavor with what seems to be two of his children, Shoto and Shoko if he remembered right. He was currently shouting something about not discussing the Todoroki name to Shoko and other shit. When Izuku saw that he was about to hit his daughter, he moved. Using skill. Sprint, and when directly in front of Shoko, Izuku used another skill. Bloodlust. Causing the number 2 hero to stop and take a step back in fear. So this is the almighty number 2, about to hit his own daughter. Wow, you're a bigger asshole than I thought you are. Turning to Shoto, you didn't even try and protect your sister. Enji was about to croak out that Shoko was a failure. Izuku used the skill. Bloodlust again. Skill. Bloodlust leveled up from level 1 to level 2. With the use of 13 Payu can intimidate an opponent using strong energy for 1 minute, which includes the stare of fear reducing their stats by 55%. Several targets can be selected. If you are about to say something that you are the number 2 hero or something, you are just using your position to get what you want, don't you? Izuku spat out. In a calmer voice he asked, are you okay? He received a thankful yes, thank you. Do you have everything at the dorms? He received another nod. I am in 1A, Izuku Midoriya, you are? She was a little shocked, Shoko Todoroki. 1A. Want to walk together there? He received another nod. He heard, you will pay for it. From the number 2 hero. Izuku used the skill. Dominator's touch to throw him out of UA. Now it's quieter. Izuku said, he heard chuckling from the left of him, causing him to gently smile. Shoto was left bewildered that his father was thrown out of UA. Why did you help? Shoko asked in a quiet voice. She had pure white hair with red eyes like her mother. She had gentle features but definitely womanly. She said it with such an angelic voice, someone could be mesmerized by it. Isn't it what heroes should do? Even if someone is strong, they still might need to be saved from situations. Also I don't like Endeavor. Izuku added the last bit as an afterthought. Chuckling again, thank you again Midoriya. Just call me Izuku, I hate formalities. Then call me Shoka then Izuku. She said it with a beautiful smile that Izuku admitted not many could beat. When they reached the dorms, they saw it was a U shaped above the ground floor which was covering the whole shape, a square. They entered the building with a tall blue-haired guy came over. Hello, I am Tenyu Ida, you must be Shoko Todoroki and Izuku Midoriya. Yes we are. How do you know? Izuku asked. You two are the last to arrive. The two made your key is 54. The top floor on the left side Todoroki, there are 2 more people on your floor, Bakugo and Heian. For you Midoriya, 51. You are the only guy on the top right floor. Thank you. Both of the new friends said. They both went to the lifts and went to the 5th floor whilst making small talk. I guess, we will speak later Shoko, knock on my door, and if I am there it will be open. Thank you Izuku, see you in a bit. Shoko replied with a small blush on her face. Izuku saw that his room was a plain square with a toilet and a shower. He knows that there is a joint bath on the 1st floor. Izuku remembered that there is only he is on the top floor. Getting in contact with Nezu was easy, so he called him. Hello, Nezu here, who is calling? Hey Nezu, it's me Izuku Midoriya. Izuku. How is the campus so far? It is pretty good, I was about to ask something. Sure thing, what can I do? I was wondering if I can review at the top male rooms, as it seems I am the only male on the top floor. That is true, there are 11 boys in your class with 9 girls, so if someone is exchanged then there is always the spare male room. Sure, would you need anyone to help you with the walls? No thank you sir. I will have my soilders help me, if you would want you can visit me to have some tea time later on today. That would be great, see you at 7 PM Izuku. But that they hanged up, it was 11 AM, so Izuku had 8 hours to do the remodeling. Each room was 4 meters width with 5 meters length, including the bathroom. So in total Izuku will get 80 meters squared, but he will use the hallway too, so that gave him an additional 15 meters squared. But the help of his knights with moving and rebuilding and the magicians with closing some pipes and helping magically wherever they can. with Igris helping somehow, but he couldn't do much due to his size, which Izuku gave a pat on his shoulder. Everyone in the dorms were wondering what is happening, but they couldn't enter due to a sign. Please don't enter yet. It was 5 p.m. and the noises stopped. Everyone came up again and only saw one door to the male top floor. No one wanted to go in, but Katsumi being Katsumi went in and knocked on the door, shouting, "Oi nerd, open up." In a minute kaken. Then after a couple of seconds Izuku opens up the door. One person shouts, and we thought Todoroki's room was impressive. Iida being the tight person he is, "You are not allowed to do remodeling for the whole floor, Midoriya." "Geez, calm down." Nezu agreed with me, so don't worry. Then he waved at everyone. "Hey, I am Izuku Midoriya. Do you want to come in?" He received all nods from the 13 others. The 95 meters squared were turned into something magnificent. I am bad at making rooms, but due to Izuku now love to the color black. The first room is a large bathroom with a rain shower. It also has a large bath that can fit multiple people in. Ignoring the bathroom, the sitting room where conversations can occur is here. It is facing the windows which Izuku changed to make a large view into UA, though it is tinted so no one can see inside. The perks of being able to buy anything with the system. That is the more public seating area. Near it, there was Izuku's desk that is 2 meters long with a computer on it. He also has extra room for the paperwork like homework that he will be needing to do. What he used most of the hallway for was to create a fireplace and some bookshelves with another seating area, but this one for a more private setting, as was shown with a wall separating the desk and the other sitting area. He added a silencing barrier device so he can have a conversation without being heard. Finally, on the other side was Izuku's bed. "Bro, how the fuck did you do it?" a blonde-haired teen with a lightning bolt asked. "Hard work," he answered, but internally, "Thank you friends." His shadowy friends gave thumbs up. A lot of people deadpanned as they got the same reaction as Todoroki. "Izuku, I did the same, but in a smaller scale." Their reactions are priceless now too. Ahahaha, sure as Shoko. They all sat around the main sitting area with some on the floor, better desk share. "Do you want anything to eat?" "Pizza." With an agreement made, Izuku added, "Oh, just warning you guys, Nezu will be coming around at 7 p.m. "Wait, why?" a boy asked with red hair and spiky teeth. Izuku pulled out 6 pizzas, a margarita, 2 pepperoni, vegetarian, Hawaiian and meat feast. "Anyone need something else?" With a shake of their head, Izuku produced some cokes, Fantas, juice, water and some cups. "Enjoy, tell me if we need more pizzas." After everyone saying thank you. I offered him some tea, so that basically it. Oh, and I think we should introduce each other, as I bet not everyone knows everyone. With their agreement done, Izuku started. As I mentioned, I am Izuku Midoriya and my quirk is called Adaptation, but you will have to see as the name doesn't show it justice. I like training and spending time with friends. Izuku looked to the left of him. Shoko Todoroki, quirk ice. I like cold soba and ice. A quick introduction from the daughter of Endeavor. Name's Denki Kaminari, my quirk is electrification, I can shoot out electricity. My likes are punk music and gaming. Yo manly people, I'm Ijiro Kirishima. My quirk is hardening and I like manly things. A quick but manly reply. Bonjour, I'm Yuga Aoyama. My quirk is naval laser. I like French cuisine and sparkly things. Good afternoon, I am Tenya Iida. My quirk is engines, I like studying, training, being punctual and not breaking rules. This goes on with Mizo Shoji, Koji Koda, Rikido Sato, Momoyoi Rozu, Kyoka Jiro, Mina Ishido, Toru Hagakure, Achako Uraraka, Sayu Asui, Mashiro Ijiro, Hantasiro, Fumikage Tokoyami, next. The girl with grey eyes and blonde hair was next. Hello, I'm Heian Cha. I'm from South Korea and my quirk is sword creation. Basically, I can create a sword with different properties. I like sweet things, training and cloud watching. But internally she was happy as with her sense of smell, most people smell bad, but for some reason Izuku smelled amazingly. Finally, I'm Katsumi Bakugo, you extras, you better remember that. My quirk is explosions. My likes are spicy food and trying to kill the nerd. People were wondering who said nerd was, so she pointed it at Izuku, who sighed in defeat. I guess that is everyone here, I hope we all get along. Izuku bowed his head. They continued to chat until it was 6:40 where everyone left except for Cha Hei-in. Is everything alright, Hei-in? Yeah, I got a question though. With a nod she continued, why are you the only one smelling good? I mean, my nose has a mutation where I can smell people better and all of them smell foul, but you smell good. She was waving at the end, trying not to be laughed at suck in junior high. I don't know, but let's test out something. With that Izuku increased his aura and you could clearly see Heian being more relaxed, as I thought, the more aura I produce, the better you relax. This caused her eyes to widen. How did you? I don't know in all honesty, but after school tomorrow we can try and check it out and see if you can distinguish the foul smells to try and make you an even better hero. Izuku said with a small smile. Thank you. She hugged him quickly and left. Damn, nerd even more. One Katsumi thought. 7 p.m. Izuku cleared the space and started to prepare the tea when a knock came. Coming when he opened the door he saw Nezu. Hey Nezu, ready for the tea? Sure am. You made this floor look pretty good if I say so myself. Thank you sir. Now with the both of them sat in front of the chimney seating area. I have bought an object that causes all sound in a certain perimeter to be cancelled so we can talk freely here, and even if someone can read our lips, it will be hard to even get here or see through the windows without any of my shadows seeing. Izuku then gave Nezu the tea. Ah, this is some really good tea, and with the chimney, it is perfect. How much was the device? It was around 2 million gold, which is pretty low, but I need to get into a dungeon more to gain more gold if you want any. That would be nice, thank you. So how was your classmates? They were pretty nice. They came into my room after I was done renovating and I got them pizza and we introduced ourselves. That is good. I was worried as some of them were reportedly being bullied in their junior high and had some social issues. I realized that Cha-Hae-in for example has a sensitive nose and all people bar myself smell foul. Ah yeah, Cha. Her quirk is pretty unique, she actually came second in the normal exam. How was the entry exam? I only know that Katsumi got in first. Izuku wondered. It was interesting, as you know the top two. Shoka Todoroki got third, whilst Shiozaki got fourth. Shoto Todoroki got fourth. Endeavor wasn't happy that his so-called perfect child wasn't first and was beat by 3 women. I bet I made him fly out of UA as he wanted to slap his daughter this morning. The mouse sighed, thank you for that, sadly I cannot do anything bar banning him being close to 100 meters of the dorms. Let me guess, the HSPC. Izuku chuckled dryly. Yes it is. He even reported you today, which I disagreed and threatened him with the camera footage being leaked. A fair point, thank you for protecting me. No worries Izuku. And so they talked until 10 p.m. when Nezu was rang about the staff being worried about him. It was nice meeting you again Izuku, let us do it agent. We will start our lessons in 2 days time after school, just come into my office and we will begin. I agree, have a nice night Nezu. With that Izuku went to bed, happy to spend nearly 3 hours with his sensei and his new friends. Waking up a bit earlier than the usual to do the daily exercise wasn't Izuku's type of morning. Waking up at 5 a.m. and then going to do his normal routine woke him up a bit. Coming back at 6 a.m. and seeing only one person downstairs, he greeted him, hey Tenya, how are you? Morning Izuku. It seems that you have done some exercise. Yeah, I just came back. I am going to get showered then eat some breakfast. That is good, I am now off for my morning run. Have fun. Then Izuku got into the lift for the 5th floor, entering his room and getting naked. He got under the shower. Put the additional points into sense. Izuku will admit he has been neglecting other stats for intelligence, but how could he not? A Shoto consumes a lot of mana, so he needs to get to LV 100 or have an armor piece that gives intelligence points. It took Izuku 20 minutes to shower and an additional 30 to do his business and get out of the bathroom. He finally got a key, C rank, but he got one, it had an icy look at it, and promised himself he will go into this one alone, as he needed to see how his shadow army operates in better environments. His uniform was a perfect fit, but still he decided not to wear a tie. Why? He can't tie it without Maruko's help. So leaving the top button undone and having his blazer in his inventory, he went downstairs to make some coffee and get some breakfast ready. It was 7 a.m. with not many people up and about. Izuku decided to be nice, and the next person who comes downstairs can have the second part of breakfast. It was Ja surprisingly, morning hey-in, want some breakfast? I made extra. Thanks Izuku. I need coffee first, still tired. She said with a dead voice. It is already done, add sugar or whatever you need to it. Thanks hey-in thought husband material causing a small blush to appear. The breakfast was what he learnt in America, a supposed English breakfast. A sausage, scrambled eggs, beans, toast, cooked tomatoes and mushroom. Smells delicious taking a bite, her eyes flew open wow, tastes amazingly. Thanks, hey-in. But in his mind, I would prefer not to do breakfast for many people, it would be too troublesome. I need to save up for a kitchen. Then more people started coming down as their day starts at 8:30 a.m. MHH, what is the smell? Mina asked. I think someone made breakfast. Ejiro added. Sorry guys, I kinda forgot that I am not living alone anymore, so I will try to make more breakfast. Don't worry about it. We can make it ourselves and not need you for us to rely on. Jiro added, though in the inside she was drooling at this. Momo was in her head too, I wish my chef was here. I need to make breakfast or ask Izuku to make me. I still need to ask him of how much money he has as it looked expensive in his room. Buraka was a swell, food, damn I wished he made me breakfast too. The expensive room and massive bed, I wish to be him with those riches. Kirishima was too but was sulking at the manly thing that Izuku said. We will be in your debt Izubro. Heian was just happily eating breakfast, happy with Izuku's cooking skills, as hers was in one word shit. Class. It was 8:30 am when everyone was in class. People were talking to each other, Midoriya and Cha in particular as she was sitting just behind him. Aizawa entered the room and all was quiet. Morning, I am your homeroom teacher Shota Aizawa. Call me Aizawa or sensei, I don't care. Take those PE uniforms and change. Meet me in front of field beta. With that Izuku and the class left to change. Wow bro, you look absolutely ripped. Ijiro said. Thanks bro, you looking good too. Izuku replied. Field. Sir, are we not missing orientation? Achako asked. It is my class, so my rules. At UA the teachers are allowed some freedom of how they teach their classes. We will be using your quirks on some exercises to see how you can do. Japan doesn't allow people with strong quirks to excel, except when they apply to hero schools. Bakugo, you got first in the entrance exam. What was your furthest throw in junior high? 64 meters. She replied. Throw the ball, but this time with your quirk. She smirked and yelled "I" whilst the ball was thrown. 705.4 meters. Aizawa said. Some giggling and exciting yelps were heard, then Aizawa used his quirk to shut them out. Shut up, if you are in for shits and giggles, then the last person will be expelled. What? And that is not fair. From Uraraka and others. The teacher continued, villain attacks, natural disasters, quirk discrimination are not fair. There are heroes to make the world fair, so the civilians can be more at peace than being scared if a villain will be attacking. This made everyone shut up. Okay, we will begin with our first exercise. The first one was how much you can squeeze out of the machine. Izuku and Momo maxed out their matchiances with Izuku using his strength and Momo her quirk to make a hydraulic press. Second test was how many push-ups can you do in a minute. Everyone did at least 30, with some even going more than 60, such as Izuku, Katsumi, Heian and Ijiro. Third test was seated toe touch. Sayu absolutely destroyed everyone with her tounge, Kyoka came next with her earphone jacks. Other people such as Mina, Heian and Izuku laid completely flat on the floor with Izuku pushing his body to the max to cause the most distance. Shoko and Katsumi with other girls came nearly to the floor. The fourth test was the 50-meter dash. Tenyu got 3.04 seconds with Katsumi getting 4.92. Heian used one of her swords to speed herself up getting 4.52 seconds which somehow pissed Kaken off. Izuku used his skill sprint to get a score of 1.02 seconds as he needed more space to accelerate. The fifth test was the ball throw. Uraraka got infinity, with Momo creating a cone and getting 2,840 meters. Ijiro completely smashed the ball with his tail and received 930 meters. Izuku used his strength and skill. Dominator's touch to launch the ball 6,252 meters. Shoko made an ice spire reaching the distance of 639 meters. The final test was a long distance run with the highest speed possible. Izuku was dominating it with his skill. Sprint being activated and his mana being regenerated. Momo was second because of the speed, her electric bicycle didn't go as fast. Tenyu came in third as it was his territory, speed. It will be illogical for me to tell you your individual results, but here are the class results. 1. Izuku Midoriya. 2. Momo Yaoi Rozu. 3. Shoko Todoroki. 4. Katsumi Bakugo. 5. Heian Cha. 6. Tenyu Iida. 20. Toru Hagakure. The top 5 is mainly female-oriented, which caused the males to sigh sadly, but kept the hopes for Izuku to continue being number 1. Toru was about to cry when Aizawa said, the last person is not being expelled, that was a lie. Get your books in your class and go to your dorms. Iida then said, sir, how could you lie to us? Aizawa just walked off giving of the smirk. Momo then wanted to say something, but Izuku beat her to it, phew, at least he lied. Last year 1A didn't have the same privilege as they all got expelled. Momo eyes widened at this fact, she thought it was a ruse for them to do their best. Izuku, I can see what you mean with your quirk last night. Kaminari said breaking the silence. You still have seen nothing my dear friend. Anyways I need to get changed as I need to meet up with someone. Heian came to Izuku and they talked until the changing rooms. Izuku said for her to meet him in the dorms as he is going to recovery girl first. Recovery girl. She heard a knock to her office, she prayed it wasn't an injured student or the new student that can help. Come in. Then walks a handsome man that she would ask for a date if she was in her teens. Hello recovery girl, I am Izuku Midoriya. Nezu should have sent you a message of me being here. Ah yes Izuku, Nezu did send me a message and told me a part of your quirk, but only the healing part. So you can level it up right. Yes, it is currently at level 1 as I could only practice on other people than myself. Izuku explained. I see, hopefully we can train it so one day I can get a proper replacement. Is there anything you want me to learn beforehand? There is, I want you to read over these 10 books. They cover field first aid, basic anatomy of a human and some common diseases from quirks or normal day-to-day injuries. When you have read them I will give you a test and I will give you more books. What can you heal, honey? I can heal cuts, scrapes, first-degree burns and most minor injuries. That is useful. Can you help me around here on Tuesdays and Thursdays after schools and occasionally other days? I will introduce you to all of the equipment on some of the days, but otherwise we will try and level up that skill as much as we can, until then practice on your classmates, okay? Thank you, recovery girl. I will make you proud. With a salute, he took the books and went off to learn as much as he could. To be young again. The elderly woman sighed. The next day came, but what shocked Class 1A was their breakfast was on the table. Each of them had rice and some fish as the basics, but in the center was vegetables, fruits, drinks, buns and other accessories that can be added to their breakfast. There was cold soba too. Though there was one problem, Izuku wasn't there. Does anyone know where Izuku is? Shoko asked the rest of the class, while strolling with the cold soba in front of her. It is weird that Izubro made our breakfast and isn't here. Kiri stated. TCH, damn nerd. It is still 7:30 am so we don't have class for a while. The childhood friend of Izuku stated. Izuku is actually in a meeting with recovery girl. Iida said uncertainly. Momo piped in the recommendation exams, he could heal people, and he healed one student up, so I am guessing he is being trained. Wow, his quirk sure is weird. An enhancement, healing and the adaptation part. Katsumi, you knew him the longest, you should know. Mina said. The nerd actually was quirkless most of his life. This shocked everyone, I hate to admit it, but after he saved me from a villain, he went into a coma due to a hero's attack being more wittical than it's supposed to be. He awoke it during the coma he had. He can shoot fireballs and turn invisible, just to mention a few. Katsumi explained, hiding the portal part. This shocked the rest of the class. Bakugo continued, it will be better to see his quirk than ask it. Only 2 people, Maruko and Nezu, know the full extent of his quirk, TCH stupid rabbit. Then people started questioning Katsumi about Rumi's and Izuku's relationship. They are still friends, but it is due to Izuku being dense. That was a good fact that some girl acknowledged. Although she was glad that their relationship isn't on fully. With Izuku. Izuku wanted to get in some practice and ask some questions about some of the books he was reading. Recovery girl starts her day at 7 am and finishes at 6 pm, though she can be on call 24/7. They are seen talking for 20 minutes, with Izuku learning where things are located in the office. Then 2 people walk in, Power Loader the teacher for the support department and a teen with thick pink dreadlocks. Recovery girl, please can you head Mei? An explosion occurred and gave her first-degree burns. I am sorry, I didn't know that my baby would explode. Mei said. It is only the 2nd day of UA. Power Loader said as he is in pain mentally. My dear, yes those are burns from fire, there are some scrapes too from the explosion. Izuku dear, can you heal her up please? Sure, I am Izuku Midoriya. My quirk will use my energy so you won't be tired after this. He walks up and puts his hand onto the burned area. He thinks skill. Healer and a green glow comes around. It took only 6 seconds, but the full arm was healed up with Izuku only losing 360 mana that can be gained back in 36 min. They're all done. Thanks, I am Mei Hatsume. First year support. Nice meeting you, I am from the hero course first year too. From the looks of it, you probably did a wire misplacement to cause the explosion of your invention. This caused both support workers to eyes widen in surprise. I am taking you. That what she said whilst grabbing him. Wait, what? Recovery girl help. Izuku tried his hardest, but the grip caused Izuku to be dragged on the floor. I think you lost him. Power Loader said uncertainly. Tuckling, we have our lessons on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but he will come here nearly every day to help me out. Recovery girl stated. With Mei. Why did she take him? She had no idea. But seeing him help her out and give her some tips of making some of her babies better cemented the fact that she will be taking him more often. I would recommend you to have a cooling system in those boots as with the body temperature and the machine inside could overheat it. Additionally, the explosion of the baby could even cause permanent harm. Izuku explained. Oh yeah, did she mention he started to use the name baby than invention and is explaining things properly. They continue to do it with one more explosion to occur. Mei was sadly injured which Izuku healed up quickly. Anyways it was nice meeting you Mei, if you want to find me I'm in the 1A dorm's top male floor. Otherwise here is my phone number. I got to go as my class will start soon. He said it and gave a fist bump to Mei who happily reciprocated it. Oh, and now she had a number to a hot guy's phone. Yeah, a pretty good day. Izuku. He entered the class still with some soot and explosion dust. Jiro made a joke. Izuku, I didn't know Katsumi actually tried killing you today. Chuckling, nope, I made a friend in support and helped her out when she came to recovery's office. This made some girls freeze up whilst Izuku was walking to his desk. The morning lessons were normal, English, maths and classical Japanese. During lunch Izuku met up with Mei and introduced Hei and Nintenya to her. They talked for the whole lunch, which caused Mei to be happy as she has made actual friends. After lunch was their lesson of heroics. UA has the morning periods for their lessons, whilst afternoon periods are about heroics, theory and practical based. Everyone was chatting animatedly when Kyoka pointed out a sound of steps coming to their room. The door flung open to reveal All Might in his booming voice. Hello students, I am coming in as a hero should. Wow, it is All Might. He is wearing his bronze costume, so retro. His aura is similar to Izuku's. This made everyone stop what they were doing. Heian then covered her mouth. Sorry, I can sense how powerful someone is, and Izuku's aura is at the same level as All Might is. He didn't suppress it. She quickly explained it. That was one of the things she discovered with Izuku last day, that she can sense auras and how powerful they are. Izuku would have fanboyed before his coma, but after the reality check from All Might and him punching him into a coma, he had no reactions, but he had to make sure that Igris wouldn't come out and try to kill All Might for that. However, All Might was shocked. He remembered the quirkless kid who was all skinny with no muscle into this handsome figure. Toshinori also remembered what Nezu said to him about Izuku awakening a quirk, so the guilt was lowered a bit. Wow, eh. He coughed awkwardly. Anyways, we are starting the lesson with battle training. He showed a card saying the name to the students' faces. Katsumi Grai need battle. Sato finished training. All Might continued, but before that, you have your hero costume, so get changed and beat me in training ground gamma. With a press of a remote, he exited. Izuku and the others got their costumes out and began to walk to the changing rooms. After changing, Izuku was the first one changed and was walking to training ground gamma. Izuku wore a black boots with fit trousers that are pretty flexible, a white shirt and a black overcoat. Even though he has his armor underneath him, all of his clothes are to reduce the damage done by quirks and punches. Hello young Izuku. I wanted to say sorry for making you go into a coma. All Might bowed a 90-degree bow. This kind of surprised Izuku. He shook his head. I actually awakened my quirk during my coma, so I should thank you. He said it with a small too sweet smile, whilst releasing all of his aura. All Might did the same, but both noticed that Izuku's was slightly larger. Izuku then said, I am training with Recovery Girl to heal up your wound. With that he suppressed his aura and began to see his classmates where he began to talk to. All Might on the other hand, had some sweat coming of his back. I would have definitely lost an arm if I would have fought him. Nezu did tell All Might that Izuku has multiple aspects to his quirk that seem to be different quirks. All Might just needed to see how Izuku fights. Katsumi had a female version of her canon hero suit. Shoko wore all a blue bodysuit that can carry medical equipment and keep her warm. It is similar to Shoto's true canon suit. Heian wore armor similar to Iida, but different where it actually helps defend against sword piercings and slashes. As they say, the clothes makes the hero, and you do look the part. We will begin with a 2 versus 2 battle simulation inside a building. All Might commented. Sir will be able to choose, or is it random? Why inside a building? Isn't my cake beautiful? Guys, I don't have a super hearing quirk, but to answer you questions. Most villain battles actually happen indoors, that where the more powerful and tactful villains usually hide. For the teams, you will be picking your team randomly. He shown a massive box filled with letters. Izuku was in the middle of the group and chose D. He looked around and found Kyoka Jiro with D. I guess we are in the same team, Kyoka. We are. She said with a smile. Are we going to plan now or late? I would recommend later, we don't know who our opponents are. Izuku received a nod. The rules are pretty simple. There will be a hero and a villain's team. The villain team are needed to protect the bomb from the heroes. The hero team need to touch the bomb or capture the villains to win. The villains need to capture the heroes or not allow the heroes to touch the bomb for the 10 minutes allocated. I will begin with choosing the sides. After a second he picked, Team B are heroes and Team D are villains. Both teams will be getting a building map and you have 5 minutes to hide the bomb and plan. Our opponents are Shoko and Kirishima. Jiro stated. Nodding, they walked further and out of the hearing of the two heroes. Shoko will most likely try to freeze the whole building, then Kirishima will want to run in. Neither of them have a way of going to the top, except with the ice tower that Shoko can create. Jiro continued, so the 4th floor. Yep, we will both stay in the room with the bomb, as Shoko can freeze us solid if one would slip up, so we would need both of our senses to be on full alert. Whilst your Jax can deal with the ice, I can deal and break Jiro's defense. Is that okay? Yeah, that will be good. So after 5 minutes Izuku and Kyoka started the exercise with Shoko, as per prediction froze the whole building. Izuku and the punk girl broke the ice immediately. They waited another 4 minutes for the duo to come. Instantly Kirishima barged in with Shoko behind him. Jiro sent a wave of sound at the two breaking fire formation, with Jiro constantly barraging Shoko's ice attacks. Izuku was punching Ijiro constantly, "Come in Ijiro, you can harder more. Ijiro was confused but tried what was recommended, activate your quirk again when it's already turned on, it will be stronger. And it continued for 10 more seconds until Ijiro felt it, a block snapped, his skin became more rocky, solid, with everything becoming harder than obsidian. Great. Well done, you evolved your quirk to become an ultimate defense CG bro. Thanks bro. With that Ijiro fell unconscious from the strain. Jiro was still dealing with Shoko when Shoko was running to Jiro to get in the other girl's gourd. Jiro froze a little in the legs due to Shoko freezing the floor, she was too slow to put Jack in the floor to break it. This didn't allow her to move to intercept Shoko, sorry Izuku. But as Izuku finished the fight with Ijiro, he came sliding down the ice path, causing him to hit Shoko by accident with them both falling on top of each other, with the ice user on top. The sense could be very romantic as Shoko's face was a couple of centimeters above Izuku's. I am sorry Shoko, you lost. This was done when he put capture tape around Shoko's arm. Some girls blushed at the scene watching the accidental intimate moment. Villain's team lost. All Might was just as confused. Shoko just slumped down onto Izuku and muttered warm. Izuku just sighed and put Shoko on his back. You okay Kyoka? I am a little cold from the feet. Nodding, he leaned down and used skill. Healer and healed her feet that could have gotten hypothermia. Izuku saw Ijiro and used the same skill on him to heal his injuries a little fast. Then he picked up Ijiro and asked Kyoka if she wanted a life too. Which she said no to. With Ijiro and a Princess Carrie and Shoko on his back, Jiro next to him, they went back to All Might. So? Young Shoko, will you get of him? All Might asked. No, warm with a glare that could kill anything, All Might just backed down with Katsumi gritting her teeth. Izuku then placed Ijiro in a chair and started to do some more healing. So who do you think was the MVP of this battle? All Might asked. Momo answered, it would be Kyoka. Izuku was trying to improve Kirishima's defensive capabilities, he could have easily subdued him. Kyoka on the other hand stuck to her position and defended the bomb until she couldn't. That is a good answer. For most villain and hero fights, a villain wouldn't help the hero, which Izuku did. But this should be a fight to give the most out of one person. So young Kyoka got the MVP. This continued for the lesson. Katsumi was with Sato, who were the villains against Momo and Heiin. Katsumi just wanted to kill Cha mostly. She lost due to Momo's sweat blocking chemical. Sato was dealt with Cha's sword in a position where the villain has to yield. The other matches were pretty boring if Izuku had a say in it. The lesson finished with All Might exciting as a hero. After school. Izuku finally leveled up his healing skill. Skill. Healer LV.2, active. Can heal small wounds and heal fractures, torn muscles, and some intermediate injuries. As the skill's level increases more, healing major wounds to making an organ grow back as possible. The current speed is slow 30 mana per second. This was a development from healing all the minor injuries on his classmates. He was lucky to have the high magician's ring as it did replenish his mana faster than naturally. From what the system told him, he could heal injuries up to intermediate, meaning torn muscles, fractures, second-degree burns, and some scarring too. He did predict that the next level will deal with the speed of healing or mana cost though. Recovery Girl was glad about that and started giving Izuku more injured students that came in from the second day. Each level will take him more time to level up, so it will take some time leveling it up. High Magician's RINGB rank, right middle finger. Regen 10 mana per min. It was another morning where Izuku made breakfast, but this time with the help of Iida and Heiin. It was a light soup, rice and some side dishes. Iida and Heiin discovered that Izuku has some type of storage that he can take things out as they didn't have some spices, so Izuku took some out. The class was delighted with the breakfast that was made with Momo actually complementing Izuku's skill. Kirishima was so thankful for Izuku's help that he gave a bro hug to him. Izuku reciprocated as it seems the two of them are going to be besties. Ijiro also promised to train in the new form as it only lasts 3 seconds, but he can't move in that form yet. Izuku recommended for him to start to do more running as he is slower in his hardened form. But for some reason Tokoyami was feeling that Dark Shadow wanted to bow down to Izuku. It was happening for time he knew Izuku, but he didn't have the courage to ask him yet. Class. Izawa came in and shut everyone up. Good, you are all quiet. He was having a bad day as reporters wanted to get into the school. They were more ferocious as all students were in fire dorms not being able to leave. You are going to pick your class representative and vice representative. Do whatever you want, just make it done before homeroom is over. Nearly all of the class wanted to be class rep, as it does help in their hero careers. Iida finally shut everyone up but had his hand held the furthest upwards. We will be voting to decide the representatives. There was an agreement made. Momo created a box and some paper and handed it to everyone. Izuku in all honesty didn't mind it but preferred if someone else was it, so he chose Momo. Iida counted it and the final result wasn't as shocking as it seems. Izuku has 7 votes with Momo having 2 votes. Izuku with Momo came to the front, with Izuku giving a reassuring smile to her. Thank you for voting for me. I will promise I will be the best class president as I can be. Momo went next. Thank you in your confidence, I will too try my best. When they were going back, Izuku whispered in her ear, by the way, I voted for you. With that he went to his seat, leaving Momo befuddled. Lunch. Izuku was joined by Heiin, Mei, Iida, Momo, Shoko, Katsumi, Kyoka and Kota. They were all talking when an alarm occurred. Iida got one of the third years and asked him what it was. Someone broke into the school. This never happened during my 3 years being here. I told that mouse to upgrade the security, so troublesome. Izuku muttered with only Kyoka hearing him. Iida, check the front. Being near the window also helped, it is the media. Night, spread out and see if you can find the actual person that broke in. Magicians, go to my room and use your detection magic and see if anyone was in school bar the reporters. Igra, stay with me just in case. He felt the shadows nod their head. Izuku jumped high and was hanging from the side and shouted, oh, I stop. This got everyone's attention, with him also releasing his aura making people stop. It is just the media, use your brain people and not be brainless chickens. Even if some of you don't do heroics, this is a proud school, so behave properly. With that done, he jumped off and went to class. There was one bubbly girl that felt the aura and can compare it to her friend who recently acquired a new quirk from the number 1. She was excited to meet with this guy and ask questions from him. The rest of the day was cancelled, with Aizawa telling Izuku that Nezu will visit him at 5 PM to talk to him. 5 PM dorms. Izuku and Nezu were sitting on the couch near the chimney drinking tea. So today's incident wasn't from the reporters, was it? Sadly that is true. Here, look at those pictures. Those are from the front gate. He handed down a couple of pictures of a completely destroyed gate. Sadly we don't know who it was, as that person was, as the cameras didn't detect anyone. From what it looks, it wasn't punched through but dissolved, like into dust. Izuku answered. That is what my guess it too. Nezu sighed. I have sent out my knights to check everything they can and my magicians to see if they could detect anyone. With an interesting nod, Izuku continued, the knights didn't find anyone, but the mages found something interesting. A purple warp quirk was in our school, more precisely in the teacher's lounge. Sadly none of my shadows can talk and their writing suck, but they did project an image. He called out of one of the mages, please can you show the image you taken? With a bow, a holographic image appeared showing a purple figure covered in smoke, but not the same as Izuku's shoulders. It was purple with yellow eyes and a neckguard with some type of suit. Nezu took a picture of it and sent it to all staff members, warning them about this individual. Do you think someone has a similar ability to you? Nezu asked. I don't think so, from when I questioned the mages with them giving me nods and shaking of their heads. It is safe to say that this person wasn't similar to my army. It does have a living component, so it means that it is alive and not dependent on mana. I see, thank you for telling me that and also stopping the crush that was about to happen. Izuku just waved it off. They continued talking with Nezu, giving some tips how Izuku could have done it better and security upgrades. Next day. It was their heroics class again. Aizawa informed them that they are going off campus for rescue training and they will 2 more teachers. Iida tried getting his classmates organized, it failed once again. On the bus, Tsuyu asked, ignoring Katsumi's warning, Izuku, what exactly is your quirk? Kiro. Raising an eyebrow, Izuku answered, you know my basics from Kaken, no doubt. Katsumi looked sheepish, but then he smirked, in time you will see, as I don't know your special moves, you don't know mine. We have the sports festival soon anyways, you probably see some then. She didn't like that response, as she was usually the one who got every question answered too. Damn Izuku, at least you have a good heroic quirk, I just short circuit. Kaminari complained. Denki, who said that you don't have an amazing quirk. Look how far you have gotten, and I am sure you will reach amazing heights with it too. Izuku reassured his blonde friend. Then he looked to the right of him and saw Shoko sleeping on his shoulder, which he smiled gently at. Aizawa then spoke up, quiet down brats, we are here. They only saw 13, which caused Achako to fangirl over her. Aizawa asked 13 where All Might was and she gave 3 fingers, he will be running a little late this morning. Aizawa and even Izuku understood that All Might has used all of his time remaining. When they were in with 13 explaining that all quirks can be used to injure and kill, this made Izuku concentrate. But then lights started to flicker around. The light started to flicker, the USJ protection system started up. With a purple portal that made Izuku's eyes widen, Izuku whispered to Izawa, the purple one was who entered UA. This caused Eraserhead to eyes widen as all staff knew it was Izuku who found this out. Out of the portal came a plethora amount of villains, with a hand guy and a monster type near him. Alarm! An emergency quest has been issued. There are entities nearby that intend to murder the player. Make them retreat or fall unconscious. If this quest is not completed, your heart will stop. Enemies required to retreat or subdued. 142. Enemies retreated or subdued. 0. Extra quest. Kill Nomu. The entity is a puppet to the leader, kill it for its piece to occur. Wow, great, Aizawa, can I deal with them? Izuku asked to the shock of all. No, you can't. Aizawa stated. Let me ask it again, sensei. That monster has the same aura as All Might, you could deal with the goons, but you won't have a chance against that monster. So please, can I deal with them? I will deal with all of the consequences. DCH, fine. If you die, I will resurrect you and kill you myself, problem child. Aizawa warned. Izuku nodded and started to walk down the stairs. Well. Villains came into the USJ, now whatever shall I do with you all? The gray-haired man-child spoke up, shouldn't you run away, you have no chance in beating my party. Oh, gaming terminology. I see you have a monster, what is that? Smirking, this can kill All Might, it is called a Nomu. Wow, yeah, that won't work. How about we give it a try? Your army against mine. This confused everyone. What army? It is only you on the stairs. Shigaraki wanted to laugh. What army, you say? Izuku laughed, guys, don't kill any villain. Igris, please defiate the Nomu. Oh, this one. Come forth. With that mighty yell and a smirk, 40 figures all in black with some blue coming out came from Izuku's shadow and materialized behind him. Knights, defiate the goons. Mages, please help them. Igris will deal with the Nomu, what you saying, guys? With a roar of excitement. Shigaraki had his eyes opened wide, same with Kurogiri, then smirked. Let us see who will win, the party of 140 are yours. Nomu, kill Igris, then that brat. But the screech, the Nomu run to Igris, with that the knights started to attack the goons and magicians, help them deal with them. The 6 of the magicians were standing around Izuku and spreading further and further as sections of the field are cleared. They used fireballs as their main attack force. Enemies required to retreat or subdued. 103. Enemies retreated or subdued. 39. It was a couple of seconds, but damn. Izuku thought. The fight between Igris and Nomu was a stalemate. Igris would slash, but the Nomu would regenerate. Nomu would punch or rip a limb, but Igris too will regenerate. Mana. 1639-2245. That is a pretty good soldier, I must say. What is your name? Smirking, oh, why is player 1 sad not knowing player 2 name? Izuku joked around. Shigaraki like this kid, hahaha, I like you already. Why don't we join in with the fight in this game? Couldn't say it any better. With that the two rushed with speeds that barely anyone could keep up. Grappling was what Shigaraki tried to do, whilst Izuku was punching or kicking. After 2 minutes, they colliding their forearms, then they both jumped back. Enemies required to retreat or subdued. 17. Enemies retreated or subdued. 125. Mana. 532,245. There is a dozen of your forces left, with mine not even taking a scratch. But your puppet and Igris are still at it. I must say, if All Might was here he would have a larger problem with only my sensei to rely on. Strength, speed, regeneration and shock absorptions are in that Nomu, it is a perfect combination of quirks to defiate All Might. You know you shouldn't tell your enemy about what it can do, right? Izuku said with a deadpan. DCH. Igris was having fun, not many people can rival him with only his lord being able to successfully. But facing the so-called Nomu allowed him to become stronger for his liege. But that Nomu was not dying. Just like him, the regeneration factor was a pain to deal with. Igris, punch it as many times you can, it can absorb so much. He thanked his lord immensely, in all honesty he would love to talk to him, so his goal was to level up as much as he can. He knew his liege couldn't kill his opponent, but he could. He too realized that Izuku is also allowing the knights and mages to level up, as he knows that his liege needs them as strong as possible for the future gates they will face together. I am Shigaraki, what is your name? He finally introduced to Izuku. Call me Izuku, Shigaraki. And where do you think you are going? Izuku used skill. Dominator's touch at Kurogiri, the eyes of the Shadow Monarch turned blue with fog coming out. I can't move Tamura Shigaraki. The Warp Gator user rasped out. Stay behind Kurogiri, this is so much fun. Shigaraki reprimanded. Let's continue our dance. With a quick drink of a mana potion to regain 1000 MP, he used skill. Bloodlust, which caused Shigaraki and Kurogiri to freeze up a bit and they felt weaker. Another skill. Stealth was used, causing Izuku to disappear from their view and got behind them. Shigaraki dodged a punch, but barely, then Izuku took out his T-Rex dagger, as Maruko kept the other dagger, and slashed his cheek, which Shigaraki didn't dodge. The leader of the League of Villains that Izuku was messing with them from the get-go. TCH, we will see each other again, Izuku. With that, the decaying quirk user and Kurogiri left Izuku and the beaten Nomu. Igris gave Izuku his head, whilst kneeling down. Thank you, Igris, also well done leveling up to level 11. With a pat on his shoulder, Igris felt really proud of himself now. Izuku called over all of his shadows to surround him. Going to the Nomu, Izuku said one word, arise, you were left for dead, but this time protect me. The shadow of the Nomu started to come from the body. It formed a figure just below Igris's height. It was pure black with a beak, with its face being blue. The muscles on its body were larger than before too, with some streaks of purple showing. You have upgraded the shadow. Shadow level will be 8. Shadows higher than rank knight can be named. Your name will be Beast. They all kneeled to Izuku and Izuku returned them to his shadow. With 1A. At the beginning they thought Izuku was crazy, Aizawa in particular. So when they all saw his shadow army, some of them nearly shat in their pants. Now they all understood why Izuku said to them to wait. Aizawa also can feel aura and knows that Izuku suppresses it, otherwise it will feel like being in the number 1 presence all of the time. But seeing the so-called Igris fight with a monster that can kill All Might, now they saw the reason why Izuku was confident. The Nomu was hard to beat from the amount of times Igris lashed it, punched it and whatnot, but it didn't die. Then they saw Izuku fight Shigaraki. It was clear that Izuku was messing around, but after the break, he started to take the fight more seriously with more skills after he drank his potion. They were happy he was a hero. If he was a villain, God bless them. Katsumi had to stare in awe at what her crush was doing. Yes, she was mad that she didn't fight, but seeing the one she will be marrying was good too. This feeling was reciprocated with some others in the class. After the villains left, all shadows came around Izuku, then after 10 seconds they disappeared. They all came running back as they sent Iida for backup. Izuku, are you okay? Heian asked as she practically flew down to him and hugged him. Oh yeah, I am. Izuku said with smile, whilst hugging her back. She sniffed, you are stronger now than before the fight. How? All of the others listened in. Let's say I get stronger after each battle. Then Izuku turned to Aizawa, all the goons are subdued, there are 140 in total, and this Nomu was dead from the beginning. I will need to speak to Nezu in private about that man. Aizawa's eyes widened and began to shake a little, so your prediction is correct, heh? It is, I think the League of Villains will be his play toy. Haha, oh my. That is absolutely great. I will join in the meeting. Aizawa stated the first bit sarcastically, to which Izuku nodded. The rest of the class was just confused, who was he? The teachers arrived, but it was all over. Nezu came up to Izuku with All Might there too. Izuku broke the hug from Cha. Classmates of Izuku began to ask him a lot of questions about his soldiers and his abilities, and Izuku just answered, in time I will tell you all, but now I need to talk to Nezu and the police officers. I will meet you in dorms. He then waved at them and gone into a car with Nezu, Small Might, Eraserhead, and an officer called Tsukauchi. They were all riding in silence, so Izuku checked his notification. An emergency quest completed. There are entities nearby that intend to murder the player. Make them retreat or fall unconscious. If this quest is not completed, your heart will stop. Enemies required to retreat or subdued. 0. Enemies retreated or subdued. 142. Extra quest. Kill Nomu completed. The entity is a puppet to the leader, kill it for its piece to occur. Do you want to collect the rewards? Accept, reject. Accept, Izuku thought. Quest rewards. Reward 1. Additional points plus 10. Reward 2. Mana increase by plus 200. Reward 3. Key to A rank dungeon. Side quest rewards. Reward 1. Physical pain nullification increase by plus 10%. Reward 2. Plus 10 stats to agility. Wow, those are pretty awesome. Izuku smirked and started to distribute a point given. Item. Key. Item class. A. Type. Key. The key that opens an A rank dungeon. The location for the use will be shown in 408-032. The key that shows where the location is in around 17 days. Interesting. The sports festival is exactly in 2 weeks, but I want to enter the Heavens Tower from Thursday to Sunday then. I will go with Rumi there as she wanted to go in more dungeons. Izuku was glad that he had to wait for some time. Meeting the architect won't happen this early, it is another dungeon which is harder than usual. You leveled up. You leveled up. You leveled up. You leveled up. You leveled up skill. Dominator's touch level 1 to level 2. Alarm. Shadow army level increased. This is nice, I became stronger and my army too. Izuku had a pleased smile. Nezu's office. They were sitting on the couches again, then Tsukauchi broke the tension. Toshinori, how on earth does a student know your form? Tuckling, it is a long story. Izawa glared at him, you left him on a roof, then accidentally punched him with a villain into a coma. Dead silence, I can explain. Small Mike tried to explain. Sighing, can we actually talk how All for One is alive? Izuku said without any emotions. All Might and the detective gave questioning glances at Nezu. Izuku here actually talked to me about the possibility of that man being alive. He gave amazing points such as the low amount of villain organizations and Yakuza being around, due to them still being scared of their quirk being stolen. There are other reasons, but let's concentrate on the USJ incident. Izuku, if you please. Izuku started. Yesterday there was a breach in security in UA. The gates were most likely destroyed by Tamura Shigaraki's quirk decay, and Kurogiri, the warp quirk user, used this mayhem to steal the files. Today when we entered the USJ, light started to flicker, and Izuku continued giving his perspective, telling them that he used his shadow soilders. Tsukauchi and All Might asked to see them. Izuku summoned Igris, Beast, 3 mages and 10 knights. They all bowed to Izuku, then stand behind him. "Oh, this one is new," Nezu stated. His name is Beast, or otherwise known as the Nomu. The next part of information I will tell you cannot be told anyone else. Izuku looked at All Might, the detective, and his homeroom teacher. They all nodded. My quirk was awakened after being in a coma. It is an RPG quirk where I level up and put points into categories. I had a job change opportunity and got Shadow Monarch. I go into gates, with him summoning a key, where I can kill monsters and have a possibility of putting them in the army. He turned to the soilders, thank you for coming out today. With that they left into his shadow once more. Any questions? Izawa asks, those gates you speak of, are they ranked and can our students go in them? They are ranked, E to S. From what I can guess, you need at least 9 E ranks and 1 D rank to do an E rank and so forth. I wouldn't recommend it yet. All Might asked, so for an A rank, you need 9 A ranks and 1's rank. What about an S rank dungeon? Yes, or have more ranks in that certain category. For S ranks you preferably need a couple of S ranks heroes and an S rank healer, as it will be hard. My classmates are all in C to B categories due to their lack of experience in a gate, and they still don't know how to use their quirk to its fullest. I agree with that statement. As always stated, what about you though? I have my army to help, but also I know my limits. I may not survive an S rank gate as I did last time. I won last time by sheer luck. But that is why I level up my skills and gain levels. I may have a chance with Igris and Beast, but I would need some more time. Izuku still could remember the fight with St. Peter, he shivered to it. Tsukauchi then popped in, I will stay in contact if I have any more information, I will call you Nezu. Thank you Tsukauchi, I think this is a good time to finish the meeting. Good night everyone. Izuku left to his dorm, though he doesn't want to talk to many people, so he jumps in and opens the balcony door and pops down on bead. Status. Name. Izuku Midoriya. Job. Shadow Monarch. Title. The one who overcame adversary, +1. Level. 58. Fatigue. 0. HP. 14,380. MP. 2570. Strength. 174. Agility. 159. Sense. 147. Vitality. 164. Intelligence. 232. Remaining points. 0. Physical damage reduction. 12% plus 32%. Physical pain nullification. 27%. Skills. Passive. Unknown, max. Muscularity, LV.1. Advanced Dagger Arts, LV.2. Advanced Spear Arts, LV.1. Active. Sprint, LV.3. Bloodlust, LV.2. Fireball, LV.2. Vital Strike, LV.2. Stealth, LV.2. Dominator's Touch, LV.2. Spear Throw, LV.1. Healer, LV.2. Job Specific. Shadow Extraction, LV.1 and 41/95. Save Shadow, LV.1 and 41/73. Shadow Army. 33, Knights LV.7, Normal. 6, Magicians LV.5, Elite. Beast LV.8, Knight, High-End Nomu. Igris LV.11, Knight. Armor. Rocket Gauntlet, C, High Knight's Gauntlet, B, St. Peter's Ring, A, High Magician's Ring, B, High Knight's Chestplate, B, Red Knight's Helmet, S. Keys. Heaven's First Gate Floor, A. Ice, C. 401-2459, A. The class was worried for Izuku, he didn't greet them straight away, and in the morning he didn't do breakfast. meaning he didn't wake up or didn't come back. Some people actually had the audacity to complain that there was no food. Heian wasn't one of them, but she did end up making breakfast for herself and Izuku. Achako wanted to take it, but with her superior height and reflexes, Achako didn't get any food. She went to the top floor and knocked on the door. She heard "I'll be there in a bit." What she saw could have easily knocked her out. Izuku with only his boxers on with still dripping wet hair and a towel around his neck. The body of Izuku's was perfect. "Hey Heian, you okay?" Getting out of her funk she asked, "Can I come in?" "Sure, just let me get changed in the bathroom. You know where the couches are. I have made you breakfast as you didn't come downstairs to make yourself one." Out of the bathroom came Izuku with his trousers and loose shirt on. "Thanks, I slept in today." "What happened downstairs though? I heard a lot of loud noises." Sighing and giving Izuku the plate they started to talk. "A lot of people were complaining that you are not making them food." "Heck, your Raka wanted to steal my extra plate." "Ahaha, wow. I make them breakfast with help from 2 others, and that is what I get." "Thank you though, it is nice. Also your food is delicious." "Oh yeah, why didn't you come in yesterday?" "I was in a meeting with Nezu talking about the League of Villains and the Nomu. We are guessing that they will be a bigger thorn to our side in the future. And I was dead tired so I needed sleep." "I don't blame you." She finished her food and leaned back on the sofa. "I hate for you to snitch, but who was complaining about not getting food? Even though it is usually I who do the dishes too." "Better question, who didn't complain?" "Ijiro, Tenya, Katsumi, Shoko and Fumikage." "I kinda thought so, 6 people damn. I thought I would be more appreciated there." "Oh well, this weekend I am getting a kitchen so you can come here for breakfasts and dinners." "Are you sure? I don't want to intrude." "Nah, I probably won't cook many dinners, but I do like breakfasts homemade. If you would allow me to use your kitchen, I will make dinners whilst you make breakfasts. What do you say?" "Sure, when neither of us are busy then sure." "I was curious, can I see the shadow please?" She ended it was a puppy look, which Izuku couldn't help but oblige. "Damn, cute women. Igris, come forth." Then the silhouette of Igris appeared and bowed to his liege. "Igris meet Heian cha, Heian meet Igris. He is my strongest soldier and friend." Igris was nearly in tears at this declaration. Ta came up to him, then touched his red hair. Eyes sparking, "Fluffy, oh my gosh Igris, your hair is so fluffy." Izuku and Igris, if he could, had their eyes opened in shock. Igris was glad he chose to protect Izuku even more now. Izuku just thought that Igris is behaving as a puppy. Then a thought struck him, "Guys, if I am in my room without anyone you can come out and interact. We have more than enough space here." His shadow army was happy with that. "We need to be in class soon. You ready?" Izuku asked. "I just need to get my bag and we can go." Cha replied. "Okay Igris, I need to go so can you go back into my shadow?" Izuku received a bow and with that Igris left into his league shadow. But that the two left to Heian's room. There was no one was downstairs so that was good, so they walked comfortably to their class. Barely anyone could ask Izuku questions as Izawa quieted them down quickly. He met up with Mei in her workshop during lunch and helped her with some of her projects, and after school he went to Recovery Girl to learn being a healer. After he came back he invited Heian to have some dinner that Izuku ordered. It was a pretty good day bar trying to get away from his classmates who wanted to know more about his quirk. He did find 2 things weird. Sayu Asui was the main one asking questions about his quirk, and Aoyama had a vast interest, especially for some reasons. Izuku doesn't trust those 2 for some reason, he doesn't feel bloodlust, but needs to be careful with who he tells his secret to. After dinner he called Rumi, apparently she is going to be patrolling Kyoto in 2 days, and will be visiting Tokyo soon for the UA Sports Festival. However there was a feeling of forgetfulness, his eyes opened wide enough at 11:53 p.m. "I forgot to do my daily quest. Shit." He just waited and prepared for it, he can hopefully get new shadows out of it. Quest directions. Daily quest, getting ready to become powerful. Goal. Incomplete, push-ups 0-100. Incomplete, curl-ups 0-100. Incomplete, sit-ups 0-100. Incomplete, squat 0-100. Incomplete, run 0-10 km. Warning. Failing to complete this daily quest will bring a punishment associated with this quest. Alarm. You have not completed the daily quest. You are now heading towards the penalty zone for a certain period of time. Here it goes. Quest directions. Penalty quest. Survive. Goal. Survive until the time runs out. Time required. 4 hours. Time remaining. 3h, 59 min 59 sec. Izuku was expecting to see the poison fang giant sand centipede, but this time a different sand creature came out. Its name was Dark Orange. Deathstalker scorpions. They were around double Igris's height, but the length was enormous. Oh great, I have scorpions to deal with. At least they can help defeat large enemies. Then one lunged at him, and fast too. He had to dodge multiple stingers and claws trying to kill him, but as the centipedes he jumped up and threw the spear. Due to the spear being S-ranked, it broke through the defense easily, so he was going to use his skills to improve them at least. Izuku was fighting alone for the first 2 hours, then let his soldiers out and play. At the end of the 4 hours, the knights gained 1 level, but the others definitely gained experience for the next level soon. Izuku was able to upgrade the Shadows of Deathstalker Scorpions to level 9 elites, so having 20 total in the army is pretty good. They did increase by size, they are 2.5 times taller than Igris with more venomous venom too. Izuku only leveled up once in the night, but he was happy anyways with 20 more shadows. The stingers allow the scorpion to have some air range which will be useful, and with their claws as an additional bonus. Some skills leveled up, which was a bonus for Izuku as he was planning on dealing with the C rank on the weekend and the A rank before he hits the Heaven's Castle. Skill. Advanced Spear Arts increased from LV.1 to LV.2. Due to the user preference to use spears, you can use spears more proficiently. When a spear is used, the attacks gain 40% additional damage. Skill. Spear Throw increased from LV.1 to LV.2. Deal damage by throwing your spear. As the skill's level increases, damage and accuracy will increase 60 mana. Skill. Stealth increased from LV.2 to LV.3. It requires 200 MP to activate and 8 MP per second to use it for a longer period of time. You become invisible to the naked eye with sound, smell, and presence erased. Additionally, Izuku realized how stupid he was. He could increase stealth in his room using all of his mana, that should at least level it up some. He shook his head and waited for the time to go down to 0. Time required. 4 hours. Time remaining. 0h, 01 min 36 sec. With only 1 minute remaining, he cleared himself up and got ready. After the minute he was teleported back to his room. Using skill. Dominator's Touch, he picked up all the sand and sold it for only 1 gold. Fatigue. 36. It was only 4 in the morning, so Izuku decided to do his morning exercise. After the hour he used the status recovery and added 2 points into intelligence and 1 into sense. He made an easy breakfast for everyone of some porridge and had a lot of sides of fruit and veggies with some syrup and honey. He texted Hey and if she wants breakfast come to his room as he made it different to breakfast. The morning came, Izuku and Hey in were in his room whilst everyone else was downstairs eating their porridge breakfast. Everyone was happy about it, even if porridge was easy to make, the sides that were available filled everyone up happy. Though everyone noted that Izuku and Hey in were not there, so Shoko came up to Izuku's room and knocked. Opening the door was Izuku. He had his school uniform, but 1/3 of his top was unbuttoned. Oh hey Shoko, want to come it? Nodding she did just that, she saw Izuku and Hey in eating breakfast in his room. Want some breakfast? He asked. No thank you, but thanks for the breakfast downstairs. Izuku just nodded at that. Oh I came to ask where you two were. Izuku then spoke up, I woke up earlier and made a different breakfast for myself and made some more if people wanted to join in. Ta then joined in the conversation, how are you Shoko? I'm good, but why don't you two sit with the rest of the class? Shoko tilted her head. Cute Izuku thought, I prefer eating with less people around. Shoko nodding then turned to Hey in, my nose as you know is sensitive, sorry if I may offend you, but everyone smells pretty bad and Izuku for some reason doesn't. Shoko made an O sound. Izuku asked, how's everyone downstairs? They are happy with the food. She stated. I am glad, I won't be making breakfast for the whole dorm soon every day, so I hope they can get their own food ready. How come a lot of them will complain? She asked. I am getting a kitchen here, it is easier for me too. Ah, but can you please make cold soba? Your soba is very delicious. Chuckling, sure, you are on the top floor too, so I don't mind. After school. Izuku asked Nezu and Aizawa if he will be able to leave for some time to get some business done. Aizawa approved of it, but asked if he could bring one person with him. Heian was chosen as it was a relatively weak gate too. So this gate thing, how does it work? She asked in confusion. Izuku and her were going to Sensoji Temple, one of the oldest temples in Tokyo. I get a key and it tells me a specific location, I put it in and we enter. It took them an hour to get into the temple, the key can be used on the entrance Torii gate. A blue large portal appeared. Izuku was using his stealth skill with Heian holding her hand, causing a blush to appear on her face. Ready, he whispered. Yes. With that the two of them jumped in. The gate started to close when it turned red all of a sudden. Alarm. You have entered a red gate. Time flows differently here than in the world. It is 24 hours in this world where it is 1 hour in your original world. Chuckling slowly, so a mere C rank turned into a red gate. Oh great. What is a red gate? Izuku asked the system and then read it out what was sent to him. Bread gates or rear gate, it has sent you to another world where anything can be found. It cannot be exited before the boss is defeated, all of the party members die or it breaks. The minimum for red gates is a B rank. Then Izuku caught an arrow heading straight to Heian's face. She was just surprised and a little scared. It is an ambush. Elves? Heian asked. I barely could sense them at that distance. Izuku thought whilst Cha had her eyes widen at the freezing effect that is occurring around Izuku's hand. Izuku could see the name, each one was orange, but at a very dark shade. Heck, if he could guess that 3 of them can deal with a scorpion. Hyaki. Those are called the Hyaki, their eyes are sharp, they manage to single out the weakest of attack force. Izuku then saw one of the Hyaki put his thumb across its neck. Oh, a lot of anime-style tick marks appeared on Izuku's face as he crushed the arrow. I'll kill you with my own hands. I don't think they're welcoming us. She said half-heartedly. Hey, you don't say. We need to get to a safe location. My senses are amazing such as Maruko's yet, so let's make camp. Then they started to walk deeper into the forest. Wait, we cannot go any further. Heian stated. Why? Can't you see? The area is covered with bear markings. This entire forest is bear territory. Sighing, he replied, so you're saying this area is full of bears? What did I say, something wrong? Yes, so we should turn back. That's why we're moving into the forest. Huh? Did you not hear me? Do you want to die? If this is a bear territory, we only have to worry about bears while in the forest. Bears are more reasonable than the ice elves. Ah. If bears mark this area, then that would mean there are no stronger predators here. Therefore we won't encounter any stronger monster. Why did I not think of that? She said with a downcast look. Don't worry, Heian, this is your first gate. Anyways, aren't you cold with that clothing? Receiving a nod. Inventory. Here, put this on. It'll be troubling if you die, as Awa would have my head. I forgot you have the inventory thing. Item name. Warm fur coat. Item class. None. Type. Junk. Becomes extremely warm after being worn. Price. 10 gold. Since I'm the one who brought you here, it's my responsibility to protect you. Izuku said whilst patting Cha on the head. He then put his own coat on, not seeing her blush. Then suddenly, a massive white bear with glowing red eyes and some blue crystal protection under the neck came running to Izuku and Heian. She wanted to protect Izuku even if she forgot he dealt with the Nomu. I told you I will deal with them. He said with a reassuring smile. Jumping up high to miss the claws from the beast, he went straight down and punched its head, caving it in. Heian was shocked, and as the snow cleared she saw Izuku sitting in the ice bear itself. You leveled up. As you already know, Igris, I will show you how I obtain my shadows. Arise. From the bear we see a black bear with blue eyes, nose, ears, and the crystals on the stomach turned blue too. This is an ice bear, he is an elite in the army and level 1. Patting its head and allowing Heian to do so too. Wow, it is so fluffy. I know, I am sorry to ask you, but can we use your original body for food? The bear nodded. Thank you, I will call upon you later, friend. With that, the bear turned into Izuku's shadow. It was the next day after Izuku done his exercise with Heian joining him in them when he decided to hunt some bears. He put the 3 points into his intelligence and got a notebook for his random box reward, which Cha found funny. He decided Heian was a trustworthy person and told her his system ability except the rune stones. She hugged Izuku and thanked him for trusting her. They ate the bear meat for dinner and breakfast once more and got ready to move out. Izuku stored the rest of the bear meat. They saw a massive cave, then all of the sudden ice bears started to appear with the same style as the previous he had killed. There were 19 of the smaller ice bears, but something didn't feel right to Izuku. Come forth. Knights, mages, scorpions, Igris and Beast came out with the solo bear too. With Izuku's eyes glowing blue and a smirk appearing on his face. Go. The ice bears and the knights clashed. The knights were weaker than the ice bears, but with the help of the scorpions and mages they were being dealt with. How knights would usually kill the bears was materializing under the bears and stab them. Heian was watching in awe at the battle in front of her, then a massive fireballs were sent by the mages, killing her other 5. The strength of my shadow soldiers never ceased to amaze me. It is the second time I am seeing them in action, truly it is amazing and scary at the same time. Heian commented. It does consume a massive amount of mana if they get destroyed for the regeneration to kick in. So that is why you increase your intelligence so you can grow your mana. Yes, and to also have more space for more soldiers. MP. 2310-2630. The massive roar came from the cave, a bear twice the size of the scorpions came. Red eyes and had a black stripe of hair going from its head to the back of its body. A scar on the left side of its face overlapping the eye and a massive X-shaped scar going from the stomach to its shoulder blades. Igris, Beast. The leader appeared, please deal with him as other soldiers can't regenerate properly now. MP 02630. Shadow soldiers can no longer regenerate due to lack of mana. That occurred thanks by the massive ice bear swiping its hand, destroying 90% of the army. Igris and Beast bowed to Izuku and rushed at the bear. Igris went to the top slashing, whilst Beast went under the bear. The damage it took was massive, with Beast causing the bear to fly up a little and Igris slashing the body of the bear. The highest soldier in Izuku's army got atop of the bear once again and used his sword to puncture the Eber down and slide it down the body. The bear didn't give up, it started thrashing, nearly knocking Beast away, but thanks to its multiple quirks and better regeneration factor than other soldiers. He blocked a swip, allowing Igris to cut its rear leg tendons. Wow, Izuku and Heian said. With that, Igris whipped his sword and cut its head. Igris got the head and brought it to his liege whilst kneeling down. I would have stood no chance even with Rumi if Igris used his sword back then. We should be at equal footing with Beast just slightly behind us. You leveled up. You done well, Igris, but you don't need to bow down to me. You two, Beast. The two of you make a scarily effective duo. He said whilst patting both on the shoulders. So Beast is the Nomu, right? Yes, he is apparently a high-end Nomu. What makes him scary when he was alive was the unnaturally strong regeneration factor, so added with the strength, speed and shock absorption quirks, then yes, he is powerful. But now, arise. You have successfully extracted the shadow. X19 Ice Bears LV.1, Elite. You have upgraded the shadow. Shadow level will be 16. Alpha Ice Bear LV.16, Elite. But he was seeing the 19 more Ice Bears and the Alpha Ice Bear, who with his upgraded form, was the tallest out of all of the shadows. Can I name him, please? Using the puppy eyes. Fine, Izuku muttered, even if I wanted to name him Tank. Fluffy, she heard Izuku face palm. Okay, big guy, your name will be Fluffy. He said with a smile. Then he and Heian patted all of the bears, then she was glumping the surprisingly warm fur of Fluffy. For some reason Izuku could feel jealousy rolling of other soldiers. UA. Izawa entered the dorms of 1A, then Ida came up to Izawa. Sensei, where did Izuku and Heian leave? Izuku had some business to deal with and we asked him to bring one other student with him, so he chose Heian as she was there with him. Katsumi froze at that. Did the nerd take her to a gate? They did become close recently, I barely even spend time with him anymore. I need to change that. Shoko was curious, Izuku did mention he had business to attend to. But they did leave 4 hours ago, I thought they would be back by now. This statement alone sent warning flares in Katsumi's head. Izuku did say he had one C rank key and he wanted to test out his soldiers. But a C rank should have taken him 30 minutes at best. Then she went up to Izawa, can we talk? Seeing the seriousness in her eyes, he nodded and went outside with her. Izuku shouldn't be taking this long in a gate. She said that after checking if Jiro wasn't listening in. You know too? He asked, sighing. I knew for a while. I am guessing you and Nezu, only Maruko, myself and now Heian know about his gate ability. But what do you mean taking too long? He did say it was a C rank. Izuku told me that there are different gates, excluding the ES ranks, there are the red gates and double dungeons. Widening his eyes, so you think he is in one of those? She nodded her head, I guess he will tell us when he arrives. If he won't be out in 2 hours, I am driving there to collect the two. As always stated, thank you for informing me. Good night, sensei. It was another 4 days in the gate, so a total of 5 hours in the outside world. Izuku continued to do his exercises and train Heian for that time. They did cross across 5 more bears, but Izuku wanted to save some shadow spaces, so he didn't turn them into his shadow army. Heian actually defeated 2 on her own, which she was happy about. But now, how about you guys undo your stealth? Due to your powerful energy, hiding is pointless. Those are. Heian stammered. What a chilling energy. Izuku muttered. Ice elves, and with those numbers too. Heian continued. Tall elven figures with blue skin and white hair. The boss was riding on his white horse. There really was one, a strong guy among the trash. The boss said. What? Did you call us trash? You know our language? The boss asked, surprised. I understand them. Izuku thought. Can you also speak with monsters? His partner asked, surprised. Able to converse, how splendid. There's someone I want to introduce. An elf with straight white hair came next to the leader with a smirk. You're already acquaintances, he's the one who notified us that there's someone strong among the ones that came here. This guy wanted to face off with you but the next second that guy's head was cut off with Izuku's dagger. I really need to get a new dagger. Turning back to look at the elves, anything else to say? Then a full-on creepy grin that Orochimaru would be jealous of came onto the boss's face. You're an amusing guy. Izuku then rushed at the leader, but the leader blocked his slash with his own dagger. I have a proposal. he said whilst twirling his dagger around, "It won't be detrimental to you. But first let me ask you a question. Despite not being a human, why are you among the humans?" "What the hell are you talking about?" Izuku asked. "Haha, are you not aware of it? In our heads, there's a constant voice speaking to us. To kill humans, but I cannot hear the voice in your presence. The voice telling them to kill humans. It sounds similar to the system's orders." Then Izuku widened his eyes, "Then this system and the gates are not my quirk. It is acting like a quirk, but the gates are their own world. But it could be that I am a player. There is no need for us to fight, we do not want unnecessary casualties in our end. Hand over the human behind you. Then I'll spare your life, how about it?" But the glare that wasn't using any skills, Izuku asked, "Let me ask you a question as well. Who are you guys? Where did you come from and why are you trying to kill humans?" "We are." Then the Hyaki began to fuzz out as it wasn't allowed to say more. "There is no need for us to fight. We do not want unnecessary casualties on our end. Hand over the human behind you, then I'll spare your life." "What? Just now is he avoiding my question or? So how about it, do you accept our proposal?" A lot of evil smirks were seen on the army of ice elves when the leader asked the question. "I refuse. Do you plan of fighting me and my soldiers? Do you think you withstand our numbers by yourself? There are 35 of us and one of you. Numbers? You are the second being that said the same thing. What numbers? Come forth." Then behind Izuku all of his 82 shadows stood up from the shadow with bears and beast roaring. "Those numbers." Izuku smirked. "What a cheap trick. Is it though? Attack." Then his army with Beast and Fluffy leading the attack went and attacked the other elves, whilst Izuku, Cha and Igris stood gourd. The leader was killing them, causing a reduction of MP on Izuku's part. From a glance, I can see he is stronger. It'll be tough even if Igris and I team up. We need Beast here. "My name is Baruka, what is yours?" "Izuku Midoriya." With that Izuku went with a slash down onto Baruka, but he simply put his foot back and was about to step on the dagger, but Izuku dematerialized it and materialized it in his other hand, but it was blocked by Baruka. Summoning his spear in his left hand, he tried to stab him, but the ice elf jumped back, but he kicked Izuku in the stomach, making him go back too. It has been a while since I had this much excitement. But then a magician thrown a fireball at the monster. I have gained some time to breath. There is no way he died from that. Stop wasting time and come out. Is this the limit of your soldiers? Izuku smirked Igris. With his jumping from the shadow of Baruka and causing a deep gash to the side of Baruka's torso. With Beast coming in and punching the side of the boss, throwing him across the field. But Izuku discovered one more ability of Beast when he screeched in a bird-sounding voice. Beast has used the skill. Taunting cry. Dungeon boss has been taunted. Another amusing guy came. A minical grin appeared on the elven face. I'll cut you down first, birdie. Then Beast used his quirks to appear next to the elf, but another taunt came from him. You are slow too even for me. But there was a problem. Baruka completely forgot about Izuku and Igris. Igris went from behind the dungeon boss and slashed his upper thigh, which caused the elf to remember where he was. He wasn't fast enough for a double uppercut made by Beast and Izuku. Effect. Contamination has activated. Effect. Bleed is activated. Nearly forgot about my gauntlet. Then using skill. Bloodlust, he made sure to Atlas stall him. You trash are quite persistent, aren't you? The enemy's resistance was too high. The effect was cancelled. You are in no position to say a thing. Izuku's eyes glowed blue as he was giving a side-eye look at him. How about you look around? Is this what your soldiers can do? You bastard. Those soldiers will all vanish when I get rid of you. Baruka has used the skill. Piercing ice. Oh, you can use ice. That is very interesting. But Izuku broke it with his spear. Heian was left behind watching. Even Izuku is struggling. Was this an S-rank dungeon? He did say that he isn't confident to actually do an S-rank dungeon. This must be an A rank. Now I understand why he wanted me to do a C rank so I can get some experience. Throwing his spear at Baruka, the opponent laughed and said, throwing away your weapon. You. Skill. Dominator's touch LV.2. But that skill, it went towards the boss. It is accelerating. He tried to block, but his dagger broke. He once again forgot about his opponent's army that paid him. Beast Bear hugged him and allowed one of the scorpions to puncture him with venom, and finally the mages put an explosive spell blowing Baruka and Beast up. You bastards. Izuku and Cha eyes widened. How isn't he dead yet? I'll kill you all. He was about to use one of his most powerful ice spells, but Izuku with skill. Stealth and skill. Vital Strike stabbed Baruka. Looks like this is the end. Baruka grabbed Izuku's arm and shouted, who do you think you're facing? But Igris came and cut his head off, killing him. I already told you, this is the end. The dungeon boss is killed. You leveled up. You leveled up. Wow, this sure was tiring. It is finally over. Then he looked over at Beast, who was punching the remains of the boss. Hey Beast, calm down. I know you are annoyed with him saying you are slow, but stop it already. But internally at least you are showing emotions, which is good. Take it easy. Then he turned away. I worry about the future, he said to Heian, who giggled. Beast and Igris looked at each other, and Igris sighed and left following his liege. But then Beast shouted Yua. With the knight's other weaker soldiers celebrating. Let's get back, but first I need to do something. He walked up to Baruka's body. Arise. You failed to extract the shadow. You have 2 chances remaining. Arise. You failed to extract the shadow. You have 1 chance remaining. We may have gotten started with the wrong foot, Baruka, but please, instead of listening to the voice in your head, follow my command and show everyone your power. Arise. Izuku stated. Shadows came from Baruka's body, and we see him wearing all black with blue skin showing, and black hair with white highlights was coming out. You have upgraded the shadow. Shadow level will be 18. Shadows higher than rank knight can be named. I will keep your name Baruka. With a bow of his head, Izuku walked up to the corpses of the elves. He wasn't surprised that Baruka was higher than Igris, as it did take 3 high A low S ranks to get the boss down. But he was happy anyways. Shadow extraction can be used on this target. Shadow extraction can be used on this target. Shadow extraction can be used on this target. I can only save 10 of you, so arise. Then Ice Elves LV.1, Elite. You ready, Heian? Nodding, yeah, I miss my bed. Tuckling me too. Outside of the gate. Izuku looked at his phone, as always sensei is here apparently. Then gulped. She gulped too. I don't think he will be happy with us. Then they heard a shout, finally you 2 are out. Was that a red gate? As I saw the gate open red. Yeah, we had to spend 5 days, nearly 6 days there. Izuku said sheepishly. Let's go, I have a car in the car park. The duo nodded and went into the car. After explaining, so you practically went to a new world where you had to fight ice bears and ice elves. They nodded, and the boss was stronger than Izuku. They nodded, it took the power of yourself and the Nomu and Igris to take him down. They nodded. And now Izuku has that Baruka as a soldier. They nodded. Problem children. The duo chuckled. Just saying, your classmates were worried about you too. I will speak to them tomorrow, I am missing my bed. Me too. Okay, just telling you, Nezu want you in his office at 11 AM with Heian. Do you know the reason, sir? Heian asked. Not really, I am going there too though. It took less than an hour to get back to UA with Heian soundly sleeping. Izuku sighed and picked her up and plopped her onto his back. I will put her in her bed, sensei. See you tomorrow. Night, brats. With that, Izawa left for his own dorm. Izuku went to the top floor, seeing no one, he plopped Heian in her bed and then left. Outside he saw Katsumi. How was it? Blinking, let's get to your room first. Nodding. Let's go this area, no one would be able to hear us. Katsumi blinked but went to the chimney seating area. What is special about this place? She asked whilst plopping down next to Izuku. I have a silencing barrier so no one like Kyoka or Mezu could even hear us. How was the gate? She asked. It turned from a C rank to a red gate, which was a high A rank. We barely survived the boss. Her eyes widened at that. What do you mean? Don't you have Igris and the Nomu in your army? Even with those 2, we barely won. Our opponent underestimated us at the end, which was his downfall. But I do have him under my command. Anything special about him? He has control over ice, also I gave him his original dagger, so his control over ice is better. I also got ice bears. Shaking her head, show me them tomorrow, okay? She yawned and laid her head on Izuku's shoulder. She muttered, I worry about you, so don't die. Izuku smiled and fell asleep too as he was too tired. Item. Baruka's dagger. Item class. A. Type. Dagger. The dagger wielded by the great warrior, Baruka. The lightweight magic enchantment will make the wielder more agile. Attack plus 110. Agility plus 10. Izuku woke up at 8 AM with Katsumi on his stomach sleeping, both of them were on a couch near the fireplace. He knew Heian is still sleeping, and the rest of the class already expected for there to be no breakfast as Izuku came in late. During this time he was looking in a way to increase his soldier's strength, and how do the levels work? Shadow Army. You have only unlocked 3 ranks. Normal to elite tonight. Normal. Their strength is C rank. Their level cap is LV.10, then you need to upgrade them manually. Elite. Their strength is B rank. Their level cap is LV.20. Then you need to upgrade them manually. Knight. Their strength is A rank. Their level cap is LV.30, then you need to upgrade them manually. The higher the level on the scale, the higher the strength is. If regeneration aspect is included, then they can defeat higher level opponents. To increase a level, the best way is for them to fight stronger opponents. Real battles increase the rate by 50%, spars increase the rate by 25%. Higher the intelligence accelerates the growth of soldiers. Spars heh? I guess the girls would love some practice, Izuku mused. Katsumi was waking up and the first thing she saw was her crush's face as she opened her eyes. She thought it was a dream, the both of them sleeping together. Then she heard, "Morning sleepyhead, how was your night?" "I wanna sleep, Izu." He blushed a little at that. "Come on, I will make you breakfast. Something spicy, right?" he said whilst sitting up. She said as she was trying to get the sleep out of her system. He put her down on the couch and started stretching. "I was planning on asking if I could use a training area today." "Okum?" she asked curiously. "You remember my soldiers, I want to level them up. I can ask you, Shoko and Heian to spar with my normal and elite level shadows, as I can let the night level shadows fight each other. I also need to see Baruka's ice powers. Boy, I wanna fight the night level too." Izuku gave a deadpan expression. "No offense to you, Kaken, but even beast my lowest knight can humiliate you. DCH, what would you recommend I spar with then?" "Knights, ice elves and mages. Knights are close combat, the elves are mid to close with an occasional long distance. Mages are long distance. They are C and B ranked opponent. I want the knights to become B ranked after they fought the three of you." "When will that happen?" "After the meeting I have with Nezu, I have to bring Heian along for some reason." Noon. Izuku and Heian went to the principal's office where Nezu, Azawa, an elderly man with a black suit and a younger one with orange hair, was waiting that neither of them recognized. "Good morning, Izuku, Heian." After the both of them said their mornings, Nezu continued with his introductions. "This here is Gunny Go and Jinchul Wu from the Korean Hero Association." This surprised a teacher and student duo. Izuku could feel that Gunny was a high S rank, whilst Jinchul was an A rank. They all went and sat at the sofas, with the students and teacher on one, Nezu on a separate chair, and the other two opposite of Izuku and Heian. Gunny started, "Good morning you two. You must be wondering why two people from the Korean Hero Association are wanting to meet you two." They gave a nod. "The heroes in Jeju Island took some photos and asking around, Nezu said that you may have an idea of this. A couple of photos of a gate and an ant monster that was going in and out." This made Izuku freeze. "I thought I can only open gates." The Koreans just blinked. Gunny asked, "Can you explain please?" "My quirk allows me to open those gates you see and kill the monsters similar to those shown. These types are insect types." Jinchul asked, "Can you explain those gates further?" Nodding, "The gates I enter are opened with a key, with him producing a key, then putting it back into his inventory, but all gates have the same rule, kill the boss, and it will close. There are gates ranked from E to S and other gates, such as red gates and double dungeons." The two from Korea listened in closely. "This gate that you are showing is one of the ranked ones. Let's take an A rank gate for example. The monsters will be a low A rank, whilst the boss will be a high A rank. It takes 9 A rank heroes and 1's rank to take an A rank down, or a lot more A ranked heroes if an S ranker isn't there. You can leave whenever you want but worry about the monsters breaking out." He could hear gulping from the duo. "Then the red gates. I recently completed a red jeet with my friend Heian. The minimum rank of a red gate is a B rank, but you are teleported to a new world where you one day there is 1 hour in the real world where you can't exit. The gate opens if you kill the boss, all of the party members die, or the monsters break out naturally. Lastly, the double dungeon, there are 2 bosses that you have to defeat. The first boss will be the same rank as the gate, but the second usually is a rank higher or more." "See, can you show us some monsters if you have any?" Jinchul asked. "I do, but firstly there are other things to be told." They nodded. "In those gates there are crystals, mana crystals to be more precise." He produced some mana crystals. They can be mined in those dungeons and be produced as weapons, armor or other things. Lastly, if the gate would be an S rank, it would be the best to reach out to other countries to ask if they could help with the gate." Ani asked then, "Wow, we thought we will be here for some talking, but now this may be a serious problem if there would be multiple gates." "I agree with that. Nezu, can I take them a training field?" Nezu understood the message and took them to the closest unoccupied field. "We are in training field beta. This may scare you a bit, so be warned, come forth." With those 2 simple words an army of over 90 came out, all kneeling or bowing to Izuku. Those all were monsters from gates. "I recently unlocked this ability so I don't have more. The weakest ones are C rank, but I have 3 that are high A rank, but bordering S rank level." You could hear the all men gulp, even only Baruka's smile would make any lesser man soil themselves. Although seeing Fluffy, a shadow that can reach to the top of the buildings, and the Deathstalker scorpions who are enormous but smaller than Fluffy can do the same. "Wow, that's a lot," Jinchul stated. "I see that is Baruka, you had trouble with him right?" Azawa asked, causing Nezu's eyes to widen. "It took me, Igris and Beast to defeat him. It was from a high A rank red gate." And to think that Beast could defeat All Might. This was scary news for Korea. Beast, or otherwise known as Nomu, was made by the League of Villains and was already dead. It had multiple quirks such as super strength, super speed, shock absorption and super regeneration. Izuku mentioned. The regeneration of Beast is the quickest out of the army, isn't it? Heian asked. It is. It doesn't take as much energy if Beast was to have an arm taken off than Igris or Baruka, for example. Explained Izuku. Ani asked, if the gate would to appear again, how would we know when it would open? Izuku took a second then explained, from what I found out in the gates, it would take 7 days for the monsters to escape, but you can enter any time. The two bowed and asked Izuku, if the gate would to reappear, would you help us? Sure, send a message to Nezu and I would happy help. Izuku smiled. Thank you. We will be in contact. With that the two left with Izawa. Nezu, can I use this training ground for them to train? Izuku asked. Sure thing, I actually want to watch how the shadows fight. I will text Katsumi, she wanted to fight them too. Heian want to fight them? Izuku asked. Sure, but I don't think I can beat Fluffy and upwards. Nodding, let's wait for Katsumi, she is also taking Shoko too. After 2 minutes of talking with Nezu and Heian, the two appeared. We can fight them, right? Katsumi asked them in excitement. Shoko nodded to that too. So how do you want to fight them? Shoko then gave an idea, I want to fight long-distant opponents. Heian, I want close quarters, can I take the knights? Katsumi then said, I will take the elves. Nezu then jumped in, you know different opponents will help too, so you won't be one-minded. Have the bears be split up between the three of you to have something else than one kind of target. Izuku nodded, everyone who will be fighting my friends, no killing or maiming blows, otherwise injure them to your heart's content. The three just looked at Izuku, I can increase my healing, and I can heal up some cuts, so don't worry. Magicians and 8 ice bears please spar with Shoko. Beast, can you referee that match? With nods they went to the left side of the field. Knights and 4 ice bears, please can you spar with Heian? Igris, can you please referee that match? With a bow and nods they left to the right. Ice elves and 7 ice bears please spar with Kaken. Baruka, can you referee please? With nods, they begin to leave, but Izuku said something to Baruka that made the highest level soldier happy, after the 3 girls are done, you will be fighting too. Nezu went on top of Izuku's shoulder and they climbed atop of Fluffy's head and sat down. The scorpion stayed out and relaxed in the sun. Then Izawa jumped onto the bear's head too and sat there too. So what is going on? Heian, Shoko and Katsumi are fighting against some of Izuku's shadows. Nezu replied. Who is refereeing? Igris, Beast and Baruka. They are my only knights, and hopefully this big guy can become a knight later on today, as he only has 3 levels up to knight level. Fluffy was happy about the praise he was getting from his liege. They were looking how the 3 girls were fighting for an hour each. Izuku had to drink 3 1000 MP potions as the girls could do damage. But the spars were really productive as all of the soldiers' levels increased. When they came back they were all sweaty and had signs of quirk overuse. Izuku kneeled down next to them and healed the 3 up from cuts, bruises, burn marks and exhaustion. Skill. Healer has leveled up from LV.2 to LV.3. Can heal small wounds and intermediate injuries. As the skill's level increases more, healing major wounds to making an organ grow back is possible. The current speed is medium 28 mana per second. He turned to his shadow army and was happy to see them, well done guys. He then accepted the knight promotion to elite. 33, knight LV.9, normal, to LV.2, elite. 10, ice elves LV.1 to 4 elite. 20 ice bears LV.2 to 6, elite. 6 magicians LV.8 to 12, elite. Okay, I want the ice bears with the magicians to face up against the scorpions. I still need to see more, as the last time you scorpions fought I was concentrating on Baruka. They all nodded and went to spar. Now we have the 4 of you guys. Baruka, you are the strongest with Igris just coming in second. I want Baruka to fight against Igris, Beast and Fluffy. Baruka, if you can you show more of your ice abilities in the fight? They bowed and Baruka was happy to face against the 3 strongest in the army, with the praise of his liege in addition. Are you sure this is a great idea? With Baruka I mean. Heian asked. Spars are 25% more times more effective than natural upgrading, but it is still 50% more effective to level up in real battles. I want Fluffy to become a knight and the other 3 to be at their strongest. You heard Gunji, so we must be prepared. So girls want to face up against me? But the collecting no. Izuku pouted and continued looking at the battles. With the girls seeing the expression as cute. The battle with the scorpions was at a standstill whilst Baruka was owning his 3 opponents. Igris wanted to level up the most due to him wanting to be the right-hand man of his liege, not Baruka. The Elf King was using his ice powers to a phenomenal level. The elves were cheering for Baruka whilst the knights were supporting Fluffy, Beast and Igris. Eventually All Might came to see what was happening and was shocked to see Izuku's army fighting. Do I even want to know? Nezu and Izawa shook their heads. Izuku was chatting with the girls whilst watching the battles and analyzing his attack pattern in the future. Eventually Izuku called everyone in and congratulated the shadows. He upgraded Fluffy to knight level and told them to get into his shadow. 20. Ice Bears LV.6 to LV.8, Elite. 6. Magicians LV.12 to LV.14, Elite. 20. Deathstalker Scorpions LV.10 to LV.14, Elite. Fluffy LV.17, Elite, to LV.1, Knight, Alpha Ice Bear. Beast LV.10 to LV.13, Knight, Upper Tier Nomu. Igris LV.14 to LV.17, Knight, Baruka LV.18 to LV.19, Knight, Elf King. I think they leveled up nicely. Izuku said, knowing that Igris and Baruka were producing their aura to intimidate each other. Everyone else was affected, with some nearly falling to their knees. Anyone hungry? This made the others get out of their haze. The teachers politely said no and dismissed themselves whilst the girls nodded. They were asked where they went with Izuku, saying that he had a meeting with Nezu and trained a bit. The four went to the top floor as each of them lived there, but went to Izuku's room. Izuku then got some takeaway and happily ate it with his friends. That's it guys. Thanks for watching and supporting us. See you in the next part.